Hey, what's going on, guys? It's LuceyGoosey or Kyle, and welcome to the MLBA playoffs. We are here. The Chicago Bibarels went 6-6 on the season with a pretty decent differential. I believe we finished with the +8 differential, maybe a little bit less than that. We had a forfeit at the end of the season. Week 12 ended in a forfeit. Our opponent didn't end up getting online, and we officially made playoffs. So we're going up against the Pittsburgh Celesteelas, who I believe finished maybe one game ahead of us, 2 games ahead of us, something like that. They had a decent season, but I think they got a lot of forfeit wins at the end of the season, too. A lot of the coaches kind of dropped off near the end of the season, and that's kind of what opened up the playoff positions for a couple of us in like the 6th, 7th, and 8th seeds. Anyways, we're going up against the 3rd seed. There's 8 teams that make playoffs, and I like our matchup. Most of the teams in this league have like one Ubermon that really identifies their team. His would be Ashker Ninja, even though I'm pretty sure Ashker Ninja is OU. So like Celesteela, Ashker Ninja, those are both pretty good mons, but they're not broken. So I really like that we're going up against a team that doesn't have like a really tough mon to deal with. Like week 11, we had to face Naganadel and Sheer Force Mando I. Like those are really hard mons to prep for. And luckily we didn't have to deal with that this week. Except he does have Jirachi and Terrakion on his team as well. He has a few other scary things, but he didn't end up bringing them to the match. So I'll go through my team right here real quick and show you guys what I'm bringing. I don't usually do this, but since it is a playoff match, I figured you guys might want to see my team. So I built this team with the Pokemaster Mike, so I'm actually going to link his channel in the description if you guys want to check him out. He's a really great YouTuber, really great content on his channel, including Draft League and other Pokemon stuff, so go check him out. He helped me build this team. So we got Shaman, bringing Choice Scarf Shaman. I feel like that's a mon that you don't generally see Choice Scarf, and so if it has a matchup against the Terrakion or against the Greninja, I might be able to catch him off guard with the Sea Flare. I also have Dazzling Gleam because obviously Sea Flare doesn't have the capability to sweep his entire team. Dazzling Gleam could in the late game. So I have Dazzling Gleam on there as well, and Earth Power for Jirachi, and a couple of other things. Hidden Power Ice is if I want to predict the Rotom switch or a couple of other things. But generally, I think this is a pretty good spread. I have a lot of speed on there. I believe I'm speed creeping max speed Rotom-mo. I believe that's what I did, because I think that hits 298, and then anything that would hit that 299 mark, like trying to speed creep, me speed creeping, yeah, I just went one above that. So, yeah, I can outspeed Ashker Ninja, and I have a lot of bulk there as well as, you know, max attack, or max special attack, so I think it's a pretty good set. Next, we've got my Sylveon, with the Kebia Berry. I have just a standard, Cleric, mixed defensive, Sylveon right here, more leaning toward the Fizdef side, for Terrakion. We've got an Assault Vest Nihilego. I was really worried about my matchup versus the Rotom-mo as well as the Greninja. Of course, Greninja's Hydro Pump is still going to do a lot of damage to Nihilego, but I can live it. I don't need that much speed. I went with the same speed tier as Shaman, and I have the Foul Play on there just in case I need to hit it on Jirachi one time. I think it's a pretty good set. I'm not going to outspeed max speed Jirachi like I could if I wanted to, but I wanted the bulk on there instead. As well as some special attacks. So the special attack is there. I believe it's a 2-hit KO. I don't remember. A 2-hit KO. Who knows what it was? I'm not actually sure. It's something he didn't end up bringing to the match. But we do have that nice speed and that nice special attack as well. So that's really awesome. And yeah, Nihilego's a pretty cool break to this match. It can take special hits pretty well. We also have our Celesteela. I almost went with an Autonomy set, but I decided to go with more of a defensive variant. You guys can see I have a lot of bulk on this with a little bit of attack. I believe the attack there is so that I can 2-hit KO the Greninja with Heavy Slam, even if it's, you know, resisted. I can still put a lot of damage on it. It also can 2-hit KO the Jirachi without any HP investment, which is really nice. So Toxic, obviously putting nice work on to the Torkoal if I catch it on the switch, or to the Rotom, which is really nice. I can leech seed everything except for the Rotom on his team, and getting that residual health back is really cool. That's our Celesteela. We've got Donphan, which I gave the wrong nickname for this battle, and I realized that like halfway through the battle, but it's too late to change it. His name should be Tantar, but I had it as Eeyore because that used to be my nickname, but I always switch up my nickname. Well, not always, but sometimes. With leftovers, I almost gave it the Assault Vest, but I want a little bit of reliable recovery, especially if I need to keep my sturdy after rocks. I felt like it was pretty necessary. Not a bulk, I just put a little bit of special defense in case it mattered. It wasn't really a big deal, I just, you know, felt like making an MV spread, I guess. Earthquake, Ice Shard, Rapid Spin, Poison Jab. The Poison Jab is there just because I feel like I might be able to get a prediction off on the Rotom and click Poison Jab instead of Ice Shard, and that would do a lot more damage. And Poison Jab in the Ice Shard will KO, so that's really nice. Earthquake obviously puts a lot of pressure on his entire team, especially if that's Silvally Steel, then 5 of his mons get pressured a lot by Earthquake, which is really nice. But yeah, I think Donphan is going to be really nice offensively in this game. If I brought Uxie Trick Room with Donphan, would have been really cool, but I just didn't go that route. And then last but not least, we have Entei, Bandit Entei, the usual. I do have Iron Head on it this week. It's going to allow me to hit a few things. I was predicting maybe a Silvally Fairy to come to this match, even though it wasn't super likely, so Iron Head could have been pretty nice there. I think he had some other mon on his team that was a Fairy type that I brought Iron Head for. Maybe Forgus. I think it might have been Forgus. So yeah, a lot of cool things going on this week. Not that much speed. Like I said, I don't think he's going to run max speed Jirachi, and even if he does, I don't mind if it outspeeds me because I have some pretty good switches to it, like Celesteela. So that is going to be my team this week. We'll move on to the battle in just a second, and yeah, we'll see how we do. Alrighty guys, so we've got the battle replay right here. You guys can see the mons he obviously brought. They were on the screen during the team builder. But it looks like Scarf Shaman has a really nice matchup. We can get some help down onto that Torkoal and the Rotom. Shaman can clean up the Seed Flare late game. Of course, Jirachi can still take hits, but you know, I'm not too scared of Jirachi in this match. Like I said, I do have a lot of things that offensively pressure it, so like Entei, Donphan, and Celesteela. Anyways, we're going to hit the play button right here. Get into the playoffs. Here we go. Chicago Bibarels laid off with Shaman, trying to get a lucky lead. I was hoping for Greninja on like a Scarf U-turn or just any type of U-turn, and I could kill it with the C-Flare right off the bat, but we get Jirachi. I'm like, you know what? I want to know what type of Jirachi this is. I'm going to go for the Earth Power. I know Jirachi can't OHKO with me, even with a Z move. With my bulk investment. So I go for Earth Power. He's not Scarf. 34%, really nice. And he goes for Rock. So he is a very defensive variant. And that let me know that he actually has 0 speed investment. So I am going to be able to outspeed with Nihilego with Entei, which is awesome. He's like max speed F. So that's really nice to know. And he gets his Rocks up right there. So unfortunately, Rocks are up. But I do have Donphan to get those away in case like Entei does become a win condition late game. I want to get Rocks off the field. No Focus Sashes though this week. So it's not a big deal. So I go for Earth Power again, just to get some damage off, predicting a U-turn most likely, and he actually goes for Trick Room. So, you know, a little bit afraid of Trick Room. I figured U-turn's probably a likely play here, so I just go out and my Donphan, and he actually goes out into his Torkoal, and I'm really confused here. I'm like, okay, this has to be Solar Beam, but I have Sturdy, and I was like, am I willing to take this hit to get off about 60% with Earthquake? And I really didn't want to take a Solar Beam. So I'm actually going to go out into, I believe, my Nihilego? I believe that's the play I make. I actually go out on Sylveon and scout out what type of Torkoal this is. He goes for Eruption, and you guys, I cannot believe it. It OHKO'd my Sylveon. Now, it wasn't a max speed F Sylveon, but this is definitely Specs Torkoal. With the Sun, that was the only way it could have killed. I think a really high roll without Specs could have killed, like if he was what is it, the Fire Plate, it could have killed, but I figured that was Specs. So I go out into my Nihilego. I can definitely live the next Eruption, and yeah, I take it really easily. I'm Assault Vest. I go for Sludge Wave. I don't think I had Power Gem on the set, and Sludge Wave still does a lot of damage. This thing's Spadef is not very good. He has one turn of Trick Room left, and he's into Eruption, so it's going to do nothing now that he's low health, and we're going to be able to take him out this turn with Sludge Wave. So we already took down 2 mons, which is really nice. Greninja's obviously going to come in here. Actually, no, Terrakion comes in here and goes for the close combat. Figured I didn't have great switch-ins to Terrakion. I want to keep Donphan sturdy up as much as possible, but I do go on Donphan here just a Rapid Spin. It's a free Rapid Spin, so I am going to do that, and then my leftovers will bring me up to sturdy. So Rotom comes in. I know that Rotom can really put in a lot of work against my team now that I lost my 2 sort of specially defensive mons, and yeah, I don't have really great switches. So my best switch is Shaman, but I want to keep Shaman as a win condition for this game. So I'm actually going to go out into my Entei as he goes for the Volt Switch. I don't really care what he goes out into. He goes out into Greninja, which is really nice for me because I can get my Extreme Speed off. He will get the Battle Bond if he kills, which that shows he Specs. Dark Pulse should not have killed unless he was Specs. I was expecting the Water type move. I can go out and Scarf Shaman. It reveals I'm Scarf, that hard switch right there. And I just go for Dazzling Gleam, get damage off on this thing. So I actually predict the Volt Switch would go into my Donphan. That was a really risky play, but I figured he'd bring me down to sturdy, and then I could Ice Shard just for damage. And then try to win this game with Shaman with the Dazzling Gleam. But luckily, he does go for the Volt Switch, so right here, I'm like, okay, well, he's probably going to go for the Leaf Storm. So I'm like, I'll just go for Poison Jab for the kill. And he goes out into Savali. I'm like, okay, we have life. So I'll go out into Celesteela on this Toxic, which is really lucky. I didn't really predict that, but I really need some damage off on some things. However, I'm like, this thing's going to Parting Shot on this turn. So I'm just going to go, I believe I still go for the Heavy Sand, but I might go for the Leech Seed. I go for Toxic, which is an unfortunate Toxic. It would have been really nice. And then I play really well around this Rotom. I'm like, you know what? He's going to predict the Donphan this time. He's going to go for Leaf Storm. Obviously, we tank it, and now we're going to hit the Toxic, so we get some good damage off. And then I believe I stay in on the Volt Switch because, actually, he just hard switches. And I go for Leech Seed because Volt Switch would have only done like 35%. So now I'm going to hard switch out into my Donphan. I figured Parting Shot was his likely play, and I honestly don't care what he goes into. So I'm like, oh yeah, I have Sturdy. I can live any hit. And then I forgot Water Shuriken was the thing. So he's going to go for the Water Shuriken as I go out into my Shaman. His win condition right now is his Scarf Terrakion. So I was like, okay, he's definitely going to stack this off. I'll just go for Dazzling Gleam. And he goes out into Savali. And I'm like, ooh, okay, that's good damage. That's in C-Flare range if I get one more off. So I get one more off and he Parting Shots out. And I'm like, looking at this team, right, everything's in C-Flare range. If that's not Scarf Terrakion, then I have it in the bag, except for the Rotom. The Rotom isn't in Seed-Flare range. It's not loading what his health is. I believe his Rotom was hurt a little bit, but his Rotom's the only thing out of Seed-Flare range. And so I'm looking at this team and I'm like, if I can hit every Seed-Flare, I can win this game. He's actually going to go for the Z Stone Edge here, and he's going to get a critical hit, and that's going to OHKO our Celesteela. If he doesn't get the critical hit there, it does about 65%. And then it's a roll whether Stone Edge kills on the next turn as well as him hitting it, all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, that was good prep on his part. Now it's just down to Shaman. If Shaman can hit, I think it's 4 or 5 C-Flyers in a row, because I think it takes 2 to kill the Rotom from where it's at, then we can win this game. But it's very unlikely. It's an 85% accurate move. I'm going to go out into FITI. I'm going to go for Seed Flare. We hit the first one onto the Terrakion. He's going to go out into his Savali. We're going to hit the one on the Savali, which is awesome. 2 mons left. We're getting really close. Come on. We need to hit 2 on this Rotom. We go for the first one, and he's going to go for Thunderbolt. Not going to matter. We're still out of range of any moves that Greninja can go for if we miss one, unless he has Ice Beam. And now he's into his Greninja, and it all comes down to this. If we miss, we're out of playoffs, and we go home. If we make it, if we hit the Seed Flare, then your Chicago Bibarels are going to go to the semifinals. So, Tafiti, you've hit every single one so far. I believe in you. Come on, Tafiti. You can do it. Go for Seed Flare. We hit it, and the Greninja's gonna go down. It goes down. Yes. Tafiti wins. Tafiti pulls through, and Shaman, you are the best. I know Shaman is a really good mon, and Shaman does not get enough respect. It does so many different things. It can be a Fizz offensive mon, it can be a specially offensive mon, it can be a defensive mon with Leech Seed and stuff like that. It just does so many things. Great Z-Mon user. It gets 0 respect in the mon community. It's like considered the worst mythical besides maybe Celebi, and it's just like, finally Shaman comes through. Shaman has had some pretty good games this season. I remember it got 3 kills, or two or 3 kills back in like week 10, or maybe it was like week 9, but that was pretty cool, and Shaman comes through once more. So we are going to the semifinals, which is awesome. Our matchup's not actually terrible in the semifinals as far as like facing mons that are really hard to beat. However, his team has a lot of very good mons on it, so it is going to be a really tough prep. I'm going to try to build with Mike again, and hopefully we can come up with a good team. You can also go check out my opponent down below in the description. His name is Non-Zero. He had a really good season with his Pittsburgh Celesteelas, and I thought that was really awesome for the season. I'm not sure how many videos he posted, but he definitely has a channel, so you go check him out. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video, so hopefully you guys did all enjoy. I'm out for now. Peace!